Defining service providers and the fees that they charge are an important component of the fee disclosure process in the fi360 Toolkit. The first step is to actually establish the service providers and fees charged in the settings area under expense settings. There's a section for the providers, types, services, fee schedules if you need that, and the compensation. The next step in the process is to define these items for the client in the client cabinet of my clients. We'll pull up our client, and the first step along the way is the basic information tab. In this section I already have a few items defined under this third-party details, but it's important to define the providers for this client. So if we click on Edit, we can use the service providers on the left-hand side to define the providers for this plan. Let's say we need to add custodian. We can add the custodian. And then if you do want to run the fee disclosure reports, you need to define the specific service provider. So in our example, we'll select the custodian and then hit Save and Exit. We can go back to Client Home, and next we can jump into the data period for our client and begin to define compensation. We can do this under the Expense tab, and the first stop is the profile that we need to establish. So again, I already have a few items displayed here for my client. If I need to add an additional compensation profile for services rendered, I can click on the link button on the right side of the page. This will bring up all the additional compensation profiles that I've established in the toolkit. Let's say I need to add a setup fee profile. I can link that to my client, and then that'll be added into my compensation profile for this client. If I'm in the middle of a process and I don't have one already established, I can create the profile on the right side of the page as well, and this will create it, add it to the client, and then also establish this as a global profile that you can use for other clients as well. We can also edit these items if need be. So the setup fee, for example, we can pull up and edit the information if we need to add a service, change the payer or payee. But it's important to note that as we're editing this, this is going to change this setup fee for all profiles in the system. So this is a global profile, compensation profile. And if you change this in this area for this client, it's going to be changed in different areas for other clients. So a good way to manage that is to build a fee schedule, and to manage that fee schedule as opposed to charging different fees for different clients and building different fees for different clients. Once this has been established, you can move on and define the other items that you can use to finalize the fee disclosure process for the client.